Welcome back, everyone. Yep, it's Jeff and Steve. It's the Steel Target Paint Podcast, and we are bringing you all the news that is news regarding Steel Challenge. I don't know, Steve. I'm just winging it here. How you doing today?
Good, man. I can't remember what the two guys, remember the old Muppets that are up in the theater? Were their
Yes.
names Jeff and Steve? I'm just
No,
asking
it
for
could be. It could be. Except what we'd have to do is we'd have to go to a match and stand in the back and go, "Really? You think that's fast? Come on."
Yeah, we could be official hecklers.
That's
That'd be
right. You
awesome.
call that ROing? I've heard a better beep on a car train or on a car horn. So,
Well,
well,
at
you know
least you
what,
can
people?
paint fast.
Yes, this is true. Or you may go home now. Go. It's unsportsmanlike conduct, but I'm not even competing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, let's get right into it. You went to the Tennessee State match.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that looked like it had a pretty good turnout compared to previous years. How was the match for you?
So they ended up, I think their registration or gunshot was probably up 40-50%, which was good. Some of that I told Greg kind of tongue in cheek and Erica, I was like, yeah, I think it's because we brought, a lot of the Creekside Custom folks went. So
Oh
Ashton and
yeah,
Morgan came from Texas, and Daniel and Ty came from Florida, and then Sheila and Todd came down from Michigan. Of course, we came from Georgia, and I know I'm missing somebody, so I apologize ahead of time for that. But anyway, there was a lot of us come and shoot
Ashton.
multiple guns. Yeah, Ashton and Morgan. Yeah, I came out of the hole with
See,
him.
you forgot about Ashton because he beat you in RFRO. So
No, no, no. I remember that whooping, Jeff. No, no. I said Ashton and Morgan right out of the hole. At least I thought
okay,
I did.
good, good,
Yeah.
good.
Man, I'm telling you what. So look, we'll get back to the match here in a second. There's a handful of people that you come across your shooting career that can pull the trigger like obscenely fast.
Yep,
That's Ashton Johnsey. That
really.
that that young man, I can't even the splits he has, whether it's with the pistol or rifle, Jeff, it's world class or pretty darn close to it. It's impressive. Impressive.
I'm looking
So
forward to meeting him at some point. It sounds good.
yeah, he's like 6'3" and he's actually has hair, Jeff.
What is this hair you speak of? I've heard
Oh,
other people talking about it. I don't know what that
man.
is.
Yeah, he's got more hair for both of us. Yeah, yeah. No, he's a great young man, and his mom and dad were
Is it,
there, and
it
it was
wait. Is it like Caleb Peterson hair or is it long?
oh longer,
Longer.
longer. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
looking here on the online, looks like they finished 173 guns, which is phenomenal. Because that was only really a 2-day match.
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. It was a Friday, Saturday. It's a three-stage flip and then run three more stages. So I think there's some discussion, at least this is what I think I heard. They're looking at adding a couple more bays, and I think if they do that, I think that'd be really great because then you can get because we shot 14 person squads, which ended up
And
taking longer
that's
than I
yeah,
I thought that it
that
would,
gets
but
well, I mean, again, it's at 3 minutes a shooter, and you're used to doing a stage in a half an hour, and then suddenly now it's
45 minutes, yeah.
42, 44 minutes, and all it takes is the RO to have to yell at people once or twice to paint, and then that gets multiplied, and before you
Yeah.
know it, it's dark, and you're still like,
Yeah.
but I have to shoot.
It was at a really cool range. So it's the Davy Crockett, I believe, camp. It's Boy Scouts of America. I think Greg was telling me he's the CEO of the Boy Scouts for that location. I think there's like 230 councils or chapters. And I know I'm misquoting all sorts of facts right now, so I apologize, Greg. Forgive me. I think that place was 1,800 acres, and I think they have 400 acres of it that were developed. So my wife and I stayed on the property and there was campgrounds and it was beautiful, Jeff. I mean, it was really, really nice. Good weather on Friday, Saturday, man, it was like end of days rain towards the beginning. But
Yeah,
no, there was plenty of awards to be handed out and the the popular thing of the weekend is we donated a Tennessee themed camouflage gun. So it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty actually Ashton won it. So it was random
Yes,
draw and
I
that
saw
kind
the
of thing.
picture.
So yeah.
That's
Yeah, it was
cool.
pretty cool. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Well, in the same weekend, up in I believe at Pioneer, which I'm drawing a blank here on where that is, but it was the Pioneer Sportsman Club, sponsored by Sig Sauer. You had the Area 7 match, and this also turned out to be quite a successful match.
What they have
The
400 something guns?
let's see here. I had it up and then it my computer burped on me. They ended up with 415 guns.
That's really good. That's really
And
strong.
yeah, that is very good for an area match. That ranks right up there. And they had a good turnout. Again, you start to meet these people and you start seeing their names all over the place. Just looking at the top three, you got Davin Kelly, Dave Wilde, Derek Downing, and then it goes Davin Kelly, Dave Wilde. And you
Yeah,
know, but a lot of people did come down for that. I see Tiana Taylor from New Jersey. She came down.
yeah.
And just scrolling here, it looks like, again, a lot of people we know, but again, a lot of people. There's Joe Flanagan. I know him. And it's just awesome. Another area match in the books. I think that makes four that are in the books right now. Um, and speaking of area matches, I don't know if you knew, but I was going to be the assistant range master or co-range master, if you will, at Area 6. And then I had to pull out because I was due to have surgery this coming Tuesday on my Achilles.
So what happened, Jeff?
So back in December, I basically popped my Achilles. Long story short. And
It
that was on
hurt?
a Saturday, and I did what any, full-blooded male in America does is you get what is called DJS, which is dumb jock syndrome. And you go, I'll walk it off. And I went and shot an 8 stage and made sure I did more painting than anybody the day after I popped it.
That's about
So,
right.
yeah. It kept getting better and kept getting better. And I was getting more and more mobility and more stability. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then I finally, got it MRI'd and there's a little bone that holds your Achilles to your heel. And that bone's popped off and about 2 inches up my ankle, up my Achilles or, the back of my leg. So, anyways, I went last Friday to the surgeon, and he looked at me and he's had me walk around a little bit and kind of palpitated. And he's like, I don't want to do surgery. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, no. He says, I think you're doing okay. And we're going to hit it with physical therapy and come back in 2 months. So I got home and immediately re-signed up for Area 6 and can't wait for that match and can't wait for uh Rimfire Worlds. So I am back in the game and we've been hitting the training hard with the Split Second Steel Academy. So life is good, man. Life is good.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool.
And Sunday,
DJS. Sorry,
you like that? Dumb jock
I'm gonna
syndrome.
I'm gonna pay you 10 cents every time I use that.
That works for me. So I also want to point out that Sunday night, 8 o'clock, the Florida State Steel Challenge Championships opened up. And in the first 90 minutes, we sold 177 slots. That's not to mention what had already been signed up for the ROs and for RO Day and Bill Day. We're now sitting at about 313 guns in that match with only about 12 spots left on Saturday afternoon.
Wow.
So very, very, very excited about that. Hoping to bring another good match to the here at the WAC. For those that are coming, yes, Marcello will be cooking. And Steve, I know that could be just enough for you to want to come down.
Man, I'm telling you what, I wish I could for sure. But sometimes the day job gets in the way of fun things.
Oh, gotta set priorities, man. You
I
gotta set
know, I know, I
priorities.
know, I know, I know, right?
So, um, and I don't know if you did see, but the dates for the World Speed Shooting Championships have been set.
Yeah, is that like a week or two later than it was last year? Two
It's
weeks
a week
later?
later. It's a week
Week
later,
later.
approximately. I mean, again, if we look here, this year it was at last week in
May.
May, first week in June, and this year it is going to be, I think, the second week in June. So maybe 2 weeks later.
Okay.
Um, yeah, the exact actually I take that back. It is, yeah, it's the second week in June, the 7th through the 13th. Well, I say the 7th. The 7th is a Monday. Technically, it's going to be the 9th through the 13th.
Yeah.
So and I know there were some concerns because that was the week that Area 5 was scheduled to be. But the match director this year is Richard Stokes, and he was right on that ball, and he got it rescheduled, I believe, for the week before WSSC. So
Oh, okay. So he moved the match?
he moved the match a week back.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
that'll be great because people will be able to get an area match practicing right before heading to Worlds.
Well, and the tough part is, I don't think anybody intentionally did anything, or at least that's my
No, not at
viewpoint
all.
on it.
I
Just,
agree. I had no say in it, but I agree completely with that statement.
yeah,
It comes down to availability of the range, but it's also what else is going on in Alabama.
yeah.
There was one year where they had to make sure because the I think the college softball championships were going to be in Alabama,
Oh, is that right?
and so it's not so much. It's like, well, how does that affect the range? It doesn't affect the range at all. It affects hotel rooms,
Yeah.
and so you got to make sure that you got rooms for everybody. So yeah, so that match is going to be the 9th through the 13th. For those that don't know, this will be the 10th year that it'll be at the CMP, and I believe is the last year of the current contract.
Yeah, I
So
saw that. It would be interesting to see what happens from here. I know a couple of people have asked me, and man, I don't know.
yeah,
You know,
I'm the
yeah.
same way. I can give you my opinion, but I can't tell you what's going to happen. Uh, my opinion is leave it there. It ain't broke, don't fix it. But not everybody agrees with me, and that's fine. That's why we have civil discussions. Um, and in fact, they should start a podcast and then they can give us their opinion.
That's funny.
Uh,
Um, they it's so tough because we've talked about this before on the podcast, is how long was it out in California for? I think it was at least 2 years, and the participation in 20, I think it was there 16 and 17 when I shot it, but the participation was pretty low.
yep.
What, 200 and something guns, maybe 250. I
I
don't think
think
was
I
it
can be honest
300?
with you. In 18, it was around 300, 320. I have the numbers here somewhere buried, or I could just requery the database that I have. But in 2018, which was the first year at the
CMP.
CMP, it went to over 600.
Yeah, so you pretty much, let's say it doubled. If it's not doubled, it's pretty close
Yeah.
just by moving the match. So is that indicative of the location, indicative of the popularity of the sport? I'm not 100% sure.
Well, it varies. I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I'm just happen to be digging here into my database, and let's see here. We'll do it this way. We'll do cross tab, and we'll go by year, the row, and I know everybody's going, Jeff, this does not make for good radio. Um, center fire has always been strong, but the rim fire really picked up at that point
Yeah.
in 18. Okay. So if we grab this data and we slap it over here and we do some sums, here we go. This Data right here. So yeah, in 2017 there were 317 guns, and in 2018 it went to 638.
Yeah, so is it do you have data back? Oh, I can't remember. When did I shoot it down in Florida? Was it 2012?
I
The
don't I have
Frostproof?
2012, 140.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically if you go back to 2009, it was 158, then it jumped to 172 and 225 and 140 in 2012, 145 in 2013. And okay, so there in 2013, that was the last year where basically the match was
Split.
mostly center fire
Yeah.
with some RFPO, RFPI.
Right, because it used to be for those of you that haven't been around that long. I think in the 2012 match I shot, Friday was meant to be
Yep,
rimfire pistol open specifically. Then the next day was iron sight, which most people shot limited, and then open was on Sunday.
yep.
So it was really those were the three that people competed against, and then of course the aggregate scores, if you wanted to go after Steel Master, was rimfire pistol essentially rimfire pistol open for most people, and then limited, and then open combined. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the deal. But even in 2012, there was a couple of people shooting rifles, but I think that was kind of I don't know if it was a provisional or they just allowed them to do it. But I was like,
Probably
oh,
provisional. It wasn't until 2014 at Worlds where I'm actually seeing entries for RFRO and RFRI.
okay,
And to give you an idea, in 2014 there were 23 RFROs, and it
okay,
went down to 17 in 2015. And this past year was 136. At the height in 2022, there was 174. So that's how that has grown. So when you look at, if you look at open center fire, if you look at the center fire guns, they generally stayed relatively the same from 17 to 18. In fact,
yeah,
open went from 48 to 67.
yeah.
Okay. But the real influx was things like RFRO going from 50 to 121, RFPO going from 53 to 102. And then here's the big one, PCCO going from 22 to 114
What year?
from 2017 to 2018.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Um,
2017, I think that was provisional that year, right? Or
it might have been. There were nine that actually shot it in 2016. Um, I know in 2018 PCCI was included, but I mean that for those that shoot it, it's a very competitive division. But there was only 16 that year, in
yeah,
18. And even still, like this past year was the biggest year that's been, and there's only been 30. There was 32.
got it.
You know, and now a lot of people have definitely migrated over towards the rimfire and the low ready divisions. Um, when you look at um, single stack, it did have a high in 2019 of 19 people, but this past year there were seven.
Yeah,
And you know, uh, I haven't looked at the USPSA numbers, but I would think that in general that's indicative of what's happening there. That people are just migrating towards the dots because they're more fun.
definitely is more fun as somebody that's been to the optometrist 3 times in the last 2 months.
Oh yeah, I had cataract surgery 2 weeks ago, so I'm right there with you.
Hey, how did all that go? Is it all right or
Yeah,
what?
it's great. They did a great job. I went to the same doctor in 23 for the left eye, and this one was the right eye, and it's fantastic. It's so good. Uh when I was ready to shoot again, I grabbed my rimfire revolver iron, and we happened to be doing, I think, I don't know, roundabout, maybe. I don't know what stage it was, but whatever stage it was, I had a personal best of 945, and I got up there and ended up shooting like an 850. So I took almost a second off just because I can now see the sights consistently.
Dude, that's
So
crazy.
yeah. Very pleased with that. So yeah, so again, I think, the growth in the sport, um, it it doesn't always come from the rimfire. I mean, LO has been extremely successful. Uh,
Yeah.
but again, you look at like OSR. OSR had 19 people shooting it this past year, and that was the biggest it's been since 17 when there was 22.
And we've talked about this before, but out on the West Coast, man, there's a lot of really good revolver shooters, very
Yep.
popular in California.
Well, I was just talking with DJ Rodigel about Area 8, and he's got like 18 OSRs in his match.
Wow.
And of course, I joked with him and I told him that 16 of them he coerced into shooting the match because that's what he does.
Way cool.
Yeah. So, so yeah, so that's good. So the WSSC, again, for everyone, that is going to be June 9th through the 13th of 2027. So that's really, we got that set. So that's good. Um, so Steve,
Let's
go
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 ahead.
ahead. You give us a topic.
No, I was just going to throw this out there. I don't know how much you are in the know, or maybe we need to get Zach Jones on the podcast. There was a open voting for stages, right, to expand. Do you
Yep,
know the status of that by chance?
I do not. But
Okay.
if we go to scsa.org/surveys, I think it is. Yep. And then we can, so those are still going on,
Okay.
but we can look here at some of the results. So for the rimfire revolver results, um, the let's see, the question looks like, have you shot a rimfire revolver at a match this year? And while no was 270, 68 people were yes for both. Rimfire revolver iron was 30. Rimfire revolver optics was 52. And that's an interesting thing. And looking at this, when you look at the steel rankings, which
Yeah.
actually has all the people that have shot it this year. The real telling number is the fact that there's been 259 people this year that have shot rimfire revolver optic. Okay. Okay. So when you look at rimfire revolver iron, as I said, there's 215. But then when you look at something like single stack, now this is just people that have shot single stack in 2026. Okay. It's 205. So both of those divisions have beaten single stack. So there's really no reason not to have them approved. Um, the other survey result about the stages, a little more interesting. Um, and this is, have you shot a stage? Have you shot any of the 8 provisional stages? And there were 584 people who answered the survey, and 58% said yes. So,
Hmm.
again, when you look at the number of people that have shot steel this year, it's not a lot of people to compare comparatively. I mean, 584 is 2 area matches, you know.
Yeah.
Um, there's some breakdown on which stages do you like. Um, Interestingly enough, when you look at the number of people that answered the next question, which was 517, um, there were about 15, 16% people that basically answered, I don't want new stages, and 27% that said, I abstain. Uh, and very similar to uh, the one, I mean, they did the questions for outer limits and for speed options. So, I have my opinion on the stages. And it's probably not a popular one, which was we didn't need them.
Sure.
Um, and the reason I say that is because there was always a rule that says you can have an official steel challenge match by shooting two official steel challenge stages. And then you can make up anything else you want in the other ones. And I understand that people, you know, think that, well, they want to be able to get it their they want a peak time. How well did I do? And I get that. But if you just sort of say, well, I'm bored with these stages, well, you can make up any stage you want. But again, that's my opinion, and I know it's not necessarily everyone's, but that was mine. But
Sure.
I did not. I mean, we're not shooting them at the whack. I can't fit most of them that were developed at the whack, so I'm not worried about it because we shoot the Speed Six and have over 300 guns a match, and we have sold out local matches. So I hope they work for some people, but they're not going to work for us.
Yeah, I'd
What's
be
your
interested to
opinion?
see where we'll see where it all ends up. I mean, for me, my opinion is I like the eight. I would kind of like to see, and I had a brief conversation with Zach, but the other day, but even for like an area match, there's that situation up at what was that Area 7 where they had some issues with rounds maybe or maybe not going. They had the backers
Oh
along
yeah,
the
they had the backer plates
it
up there.
yeah, it is one of those things like, you know what, if there's a situation or there was a concern, just don't shoot it. And then it's, well, you need to have all eight at an area match. And well, maybe that needs to be, a topic of conversation. I don't know. It's the people that, and I firmly believe this, the people that are gonna win in an eight stage match are those that are gonna win in a six stage match. It's just how it is. If you add three more stages or four more stages in Rimfire Challenge, the fast people will still be the fast people. It's just,
I
it's
don't
just,
disagree. I don't disagree, but you could go with the same aspect that says I can probably do the same with four stages. Fast is fast.
yeah,
Fast is
I
fast.
agreed.
I mean, I do believe that speed option and outer limits more are stages that really,
They're
when you're able
tougher.
to work them
Yeah,
and you're able to do well, they can be a separator stage.
yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Um, yeah, again, I think I saw the stages set up at Pioneer and saw those backing plates, and I went, well, that's interesting. I didn't shoot them, so I don't know how it felt to shoot them. The concern I would have is, that match has been there for a number of years. Why is it now doing it now? And maybe things changed. Maybe the perms are shrinking or sinking or whatever. But I mean, they were doing it for safety, so I understand that completely.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
hard.
again,
That's hard to debate if it's,
right.
safety related. I would say as a shooter, if I rolled in and saw that, I think it'd be a little bit visually distracting. Maybe that'd
Yeah.
be my precursor to excuse on my poor shooting ability. So I'll throw that out there first, Jeff. You know what I
You
mean?
mean like
Well,
all the echoes and shadows at the whack?
oh no, that's a real thing for sure. For sure, that's a real thing, Jeff.
Oh, we have a home for everyone that shoots consistently the whack. We have a home field advantage. There is no
You,
doubt about that.
you
Uh,
absolutely do. Absolutely do. Anyway, yeah, it's hard to, I don't think it's worth a debate if it's something for something safety related for sure. So
right.
yeah, it's how you communicate it and all that kind of stuff. That's probably
Sure.
another discussion, but I wasn't involved in that situation and it sounded like it was a solid match with a great turnout and
Yeah.
hopefully they have
Hopefully
it's
it
there again next
continues.
year and they have a solid
Absolutely.
match, great turnout.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right.
So
Well, here we go. Upcoming matches. Okay. Here we are. In fact, not this weekend, but it looks like next weekend you've got Area 2 out in New Mexico. That same weekend, you've got the Virginia State Steel Championship. You going to that, Steve? You going to Virginia?
yeah, we're the title sponsor, Jeff. So we're
All
going and
right.
we got a cool gun that we're giving away. So we're super excited about that. First time I've shot in the state of Virginia. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's
But
awesome.
Judy and Gary Gallion, known those guys for what, 7, 8 years now, and yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to that match.
Fantastic. And wow, look at this. Alaska, they're having their state steel championship that same weekend up in Snowshoe and Kenai.
We got to put that
And
on the calendar next year, Jeff. We're going. Let's go.
I tell you, get up there, shoot with Jeremy and all them. That would be great.
That'd be
Um,
fun.
and that same weekend, Canadian National Steel Championships up in, oh my God, what is this? Kananaskis, Alberta. So hopefully that's going to be a good one. In fact, I don't know if he signed up for it or not, but I believe you have a member of your team that's Canadian, don't you?
Yeah, Tristan. I'm sure he's shooting it.
Yeah. I heard he was out of town. I know he's a big shotgun shooter.
Oh yeah, he travels the world shooting shotguns, which is so cool.
Yeah. All right. So then, towards the end of the month, Area 8 in Thurmont, Maryland. That's the match I mentioned. DJ is running, and then we've got Idaho State Steel, and then coming into September, you've got Maine. You've got the Queen City Steel Challenge Championships in Ohio.
Hey
Worthline
Jeff,
Gun. Yeah.
yeah, I heard. I don't know if this is a true rumor. I heard they canceled the main match. I don't know the
I don't
details
know.
around that,
It's still
but
here
okay,
on pract or excuse me on the uh SCSA website.
okay.
I'm looking here at so it's linking to just a local match. So HRPC September Steel Challenge. Yeah, they might have had to cancel that as a state match. I'm not sure on that. So thanks
Yep.
for pointing that
Just
out. So
yeah, just beware if somebody's planning to head up there, do some research or make a phone call before
yeah,
you make that trip.
definitely. And geez, I could keep going. I'm not going to, but I could keep going. There's another 15 matches before the end of the year.
That's awesome. And then we got World Rimfire coming up in the second, third week of October, which will be here
Yep,
before you know it.
that's going to be a good match. I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, it's going to be awesome. So that's
Hey,
about all I got for today. What do you got? What else you
I
got?
got one more quick one. There
Do
was
it.
some debate out there, and there was Jesse Misko posted if you have an opinion to reach out to your area director about how far back your classification times go, meaning that I think the current year or the current policy, you'll know this better than I, is 3 years. So anything past 3 years, the time rolls off. And really, it doesn't reset your classification, although you can see it what your high classification was in terms of your percentage.
So
But it
you're
doesn't
close. You're close.
go ahead.
It used to be current year plus two.
Okay.
So at the beginning of a year, you had 2 years of numbers that were being used to calculate your percentage.
So essentially it's close to 3 years, or it
Well,
depends on
now,
what
no,
time.
what they did was last year they changed it to everything from 2023 going forward. Okay. So right now, your numbers are 23, 24, 25, and whatever you've shot in 26. And as
Got
we
it.
go forward, it will always be that. And then there were yes, so then there were some people that brought up a point and said, well, why don't we just restore everything? And so that is currently um tabled and actually Jesse was asking people to send an email to the Area 6 director, Billy Harrington, because he is collecting that information.
Yep.
Um, and you can send your information there to area 6 at uspsa.org, or I believe billy.harrington at uspsa.org. Um,
Yeah.
so that's what it's coming down to. And, you know, I personally want all my scores. When
Me
I look
too.
at my personal bests, I look at what's the best I've ever shot it. Um,
Correct.
I don't look at what's my best in the last 3 years. And
Yeah.
again, different people have different opinions.
Yep.
I know that from the other side of the fence in USPSA, they never go away.
Yeah,
scores.
I don't know why that changed because at one point there was a change that happened. I don't know, 6, 7 years ago, I think. I don't know. It used to be that way, didn't it? Or was it just because of when I started shooting when the new classification system went in 2017? It could have been proximity to that, you know what I mean, for the 3 years or whatever it was.
Right. I think the original thought process was that it's the last 3 years, and then if you could get reclassified. The problem was, um, back in the day, you pretty much had to lose a limb to get reclassified.
Yeah, and then
Now,
couple of years ago, you can submit a request to
right
be
now
have
it's
your
changed.
times
Now it's
looked at,
changed.
right? Yep.
So, again, for many people, it's no big deal. Their best times are in the last 3 years, and that's what they're going to be. For other people, their their times are waning. And I used to be a GM, and now I don't shoot GM anymore. And so, my current classification says I'm a master or an A, and I want to, or my current percentage says I'm a master and A,
Sure.
and I want to get reclassified.
Right.
And I can see both sides, quite frankly. For me, I earned my GMs, and I never want to lose them. And as I hopefully shoot this game for another 20 years, and I'm 82 out there, and I'm only shooting you know A's or master scores consistently, and I still want to be a GM because I earned that. But again, that's me. You can't speak for everybody. I do personally believe that if you shot a score, you deserve to have that score as what's used for calculating your percentage.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I've got the same or similar opinion that I like to 4 years ago, maybe I shot Smoke and Hope, or 5 years ago, shot it a little bit faster than I have in the last 3 years. Because what's happened with me personally is I shoot more major matches and practice at home than I do traveling the country or
Right.
traveling the local area shooting local matches. So anyway,
Well, for me, here's a good example. I use myself for. I shot enough RFRI to get to GM back in the day, and since then I haven't shot it. So when you
sure.
go to look at my numbers, I'll show a GM classification, but there's no times associated with my gun.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
So if I were to go shoot it now, I could go out and tank 4 stages, get say reclass, and then say I shot 4 stages and shot them at B. I could then ask for reclassification for B. I should get it because my current numbers show that. It's a very, you know, um, objective thing. If the number's there, you deserve it. Get
Yeah.
reclassified as a B, and then go to Worlds and shoot as a B.
Yeah, 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 for
How fair is
sure.
that? That's really not fair. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
going to do that, and I hope I didn't get anybody the idea to do that.
Yeah.
But that's why if we just keep all the scores live, then you earned it.
Yep.
You know, Hokey doke. Well, I promised to keep this short, and I didn't really do that. So I'm sorry, Steve.
No, man, it's always good talking with you and
Same
good
here.
talking about what's going on in Steel Challenge, some of the other shooting sports. So good stuff.
All right. Well, everybody, don't forget, go to rangestore.net. Use that discount code ST Podcast 10 for 10% off your order. Steve, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you, Jeff.
Bye bye.